gonna hunt today. We've been here a couple times with the MX Sport and the V3i and the Equinox. Last time we were here, we found quite a bit of stuff. The fields have changed quite a bit. This has been worked over, chisel plowed, so my whole entire site is brand new again. And I think my camera's about to fall. Let me catch it. There we go. And on that camera save, we've had like 4 inches of rain this week and another 8/10 of rain just last night. Now, being that this field just got plowed, it's very soft and very muddy, and it's not that pleasant of a sight, but I'm right at the wire of not being able to get in this field, because as you can tell on that far field, it's smoother than this one. This one's been chisel plowed, that one's been finished. It's not planted yet, but it's kind of frowned upon to enter a field once it's beautified like that, ready for planting. This one has not, so I'm gonna stay over here. Where I really want to be is about 50 yards that way, but I'm okay with just having a place to go today. So let's go ahead and get our machine set up and get started and see what we can find today. Let's go to field 1. Let's go ahead and check our sensitivities, see where they're at. We'll just start at 20. It doesn't sound really loud right now, no effects by EMI. Let's go ahead and run noise cancel. Go into some of the rest of our settings. We're gonna run in 5-tone. We're gonna disc out from -9 to 0, so we won't hear those. And I'm actually today gonna reject 40 and also 39 because it's wraparound iron going into the high tones. And then recovery speed, we're gonna leave it at 4. Check out our iron bias. We're on 2. Let's just run that at 0 today. Now you may have noticed that I didn't do my ground balance like I normally do. Today I'm gonna run it at 0. Only reason I'm doing that is because I just recently picked up a book, which I don't have the exact information in my memory because I just got it on Friday night, and I have not had no time to look at it other than a few pages. We're gonna try this 0 ground balance. I'll give information on the book at the very end, and as the videos progress, I'll be talking more about what I learned from that book. It's got some really good information on there, all about this machine. So, let's get metal detecting. Since I didn't ground balance, I realized when I started swinging that since it's not a world setting on my ground balance, my program still ground balanced to whatever it was last time I was out. In ground balance, I'm already selected there. This is where it is, and then I'm gonna manually force it down to 0. All I'm doing is hitting the down arrow. Go a little bit quicker. Let's get it down to 0 and run it at 0. I have not figured out why this is such a factor, but from what I know from Minelab operators of many years, they force these to 0. That's kind of why I'm doing this, just to see what happens. I may or may not like it. Let's just try it out. So here's our first target of the day. And since it seems like a really good ID, I'm at ground balance 0, and you can see that there's 4 bars there. Now remember, those bars are calibrated off of coin-sized targets. So there's something there, still reading a 22 in pinpoint. Looks pretty good. Now let's ground balance it. All right, we're now ground balanced and we're back on a 22 right there. So let's just see what it does on that same target. You see it actually hits it way stronger. So I'm gonna leave it there at ground balancing it because my minerals may be a little bit higher than being able to run it at 0. It just makes sense to me over the last 24 years of metal detecting to ground balance a machine. Looks like it's still in there, but it's dropped down significantly. There may be 2 targets as well. Let me just pull a little bit more dirt out, because we're not gonna check the hole real well today. I think it's this little guy right here. That's what it looks like so far. It's a doodad of some sort. Let me clean it. It seemed to read a little bit better when I had the ground balance balanced out. So I may just stick with that because I haven't read enough in that book yet to figure out why that is set to 0. So let's keep looking. Got a good even 16 there. Right about there in that puddle of water. Somewhere in there, but it's really, really small, whatever it is. Well, this is what we have. It's an itty bitty copper jacket off of a modern rifle cartridge or bullet. You can see the candelore right there at the back edge, but then it comes to a point. So that's the projectile bullet of a modern rifle. All right, keep moving. Got a decent signal there, 14 or so, pretty deep. Better be worth it. I'm about, I don't know, a foot down. Totally consumed by water. It's a daggone spoon. I always call it a spoon. I guess it could be a fork or a knife. Oh, but there. Our first portional item of the day. A piece of a eating utensil. All right, let's keep going. Here's a pretty good one. 23, 24. Right about there. Let's see what this is. Kind of excited about it. Hope it's not another bullet. Look at that big piece of iron right there. That's looking real good. So here we are, down by the signal. Oh, there it is. Looky there. Tell me what you think that is. Is it a button? Sure looks like a coin to me. I do see the 1 cent there. So let me clean it and we'll take a look at it and see if we can get a date. I'm gonna put you all back on this stand just because it's a little easier to look at, for me at least. So there it is, 1 cent. We have a large cent. And I'm gonna flip it over here, take a look at it. I can see that it's 1846. You may not be able to right now. I'll try to clean it up a little bit more at the house, but this thing's just sopping wet. And the green patina comes off of it real easy when they're like this. So I'm just gonna let it dry in my Good Finds little pouch that I have in my bag and clean it at the house. But that's an awesome find for the day. It's going really well. That's actually my first large cent out here. See, I keep this with me and I put my coins inside here. I just lined it with felt. It's made by Rubbermaid. And then I stick it on this back side, so be nice and safe. I'll clean it later and we'll take a look at it, but man, that's great. Now, talking about this site a little bit more, this is the site where just the debris field's absolutely enormous. And I've been all over this field. Found a lot of cool stuff, some Civil War tokens and things, but you know, it's after this stuff gets plowed up and disced and chisel plowed, where they stick these things way down in the ground, they flip stuff over, it makes it a little easier to find, or brings it closer to the surface so that, you know, the metal detector can actually register on it. Nice and strong. Let's see what it is. Somewhere in there. Let's see where that's at. It's in this. Could just be another spoon. Could be anything. I think I feel it there. Doesn't seem like anything else is in there. I think yeah, it's a busted off, where this is where the handle would have went to the spoon and then the spoon would have gone out here. See, it's always a spoon. Let me clean that. It looks kind of decorative. You can see why the metal detector liked it a lot. Big and flat, nice surface to hit. It's decorative there. You can see some scallops or something coming off there. Kind of neat. I think this is called a rat tail spoon because of the way that thing goes down on top of the actual bowl of the spoon. But I'm not a spoon pro, so cool spoon though. Now you may be able to see my lunchbox. It's right there. That's about 60 yards or so. We've worked from this edge of the grass line here to the plowed field and about 10 feet out all the way down to where we're at now. Now we're turning around and we're gonna go all the way back up there. This is one of those targets when you're out in the field you just don't get. Let's go right over top of it. A little bit of motion there. I don't know. This is gonna be good, I believe. I just don't find a lot of silver on these farm fields. Not saying this is silver, but sure sounds like it. All right, we got a 31. It's real high. I don't know what it is. I think I see it though. Well, it's not a coin. Rain's Guide. That's an oldie. Man, that had me going too, golly. Thought that was a coin. Never know, we still got a long day. So, there's a super awesome, hand done range guide that somebody lost that off a buggy at one point in time. Well, I've made it to my lunchbox and I'm headed back that way. I'm always looking for this stuff, and it's a little jumpy because I don't have my stabilizer, but check out this old piece of blue and white here. I love finding that stuff. I know I say it all the time, but this is super cool. Pieces of the past. Got an 18, 17 there. Somewhat bigger. So 17, and it's all the way over here somewhere. I think maybe you all will be able to see it. Big piece of spoon. Rub it off a little bit, but trying to keep from getting too muddy. Got a little decoration on it. It's kind of cool. Well, definitely a good spot finding all these utensils and things. A lot of activity here, so hopefully they drop more than spoons. So I was tracking down through there. You may be able to see my footprints, and then I came across this signal here. It's right there. I'm just gonna pick it up as is. Still stuck to it. Because the first thing I saw, if I can get back over here, is the gold gilt in it. See it? It's pretty awesome. It's drying off, but it's a button. It looks like the back is there, and it looks like a two-piece button. Very interesting. Little different design there. So that's just laying there on that dirt clod, rang up as a 23. Let me try to brush it off just a little bit. Actually, we'll just do it right here. On the only clean spot on my body right now. Take a look at him. It's a little different design for way back when. Oh, it's got a log cabin on it. You know what? I've seen in some of my button books something about a log cabin. And it's in my military button book, the blue one. There's a button that was a presidential thing that was given out that had a log cabin on it like that. This may be fairly significant. I'll have to look into that, and I will let you know, because that's my first. That's very different. Isn't that cool? Just laying there. What do you think? That's an amazing signal. Just loving that. It's gonna fill up with water, so hopefully we can get it out of there in time. It's somewhere right there. And you still see it. It's up there. It may be windy, but I want you to be down here. If I can get my boot out of this mud. So somewhere in there is what we're looking for. Whatever it is, it's right there. You think it's silver, or you think it's copper? The way it was jumping like that, I'd say it's copper. Let's see. Oh, there it is. It's copper. So, maybe another large cent of some kind. That's what we have so far. And it's definitely looking like just a regular large cent. So let me clean that up. Man, it hit that hard. Well, I managed to actually get a date. It says 1851. You may be able to make that out. So it's another large cent, 1851. This one's got a lot of corrosion to it. It's not that bad, but you know, at least we can tell what it is and actually have a date on it. So that's pretty cool. Definitely enjoying that. Gosh, if there's one of these out in the field, you sure ain't gonna miss it. Rings up real good. I'm gonna clean this up the rest of the way at the house since this thing's totally soaked, and make sure I got the date right and all that good stuff. So there we go, number 2. 19, nice and even. Might be another spoon. I saw something there. It's this. Might be an Indian head. The wind is picking up. Actually, that's a coin. That's what that is. Yeah, it's one Indian head. All right, cool. That'll work. That's my first Indian out here on this site. So we're getting large cents and Indians. So we're getting a little newer because this one's not all that fat. And the design's nice and crisp. It looks like straight up 1880. Easy to read. So 1880 Indian. Those are always cool. That's right over it there. 22, 23, 24. Sounds pretty small. I'm gonna throw everything that way because there's another great big target right here. I'll put my coat back on because the wind keeps picking up and it's kind of cool out here. Here's our target, field cleaned. It's got a square hole in it. I don't think that's a keyhole. And then it looks like there's 3 maybe lead things went through the top just by the white patina that's on there. That's a really interesting find. If anybody knows what that is, please comment. Old glass bottle. You can see the end of that thing. That's pretty cool old bottles. But I'm just hunting down through here, picking up all kinds of stuff like that. And now it's just usually toss it away later, but I always take it home for some reason. We have a visitor. It's a barking dog, but We're just gonna keep on digging. There's a 17. It's not all that deep. Right there. There's a girl out here trying to get her dog. I'm gonna go help her and we'll start this here back in just a minute. And just like that, we're back. Got the dog and took my jacket off because it's starting to warm up. Pretty good signal, 17, 18. I've actually seen her out here before. She's curious to see what I'm finding and see who that weird guy is in the field back when it was snowing and icing and muddy like today. Something here. There it is. I know what it is. See if you do before I pull it out. There it is. Take a look at that. Know what that is? We find them quite a bit and they're always cool to find. It is a harmonica reed. This one's still got some of the little reeds on it instead of just having the holes that are typically on there. Somebody was out here mid to early 1800s blowing on a harmonica, changed their reed out and dropped this one on the ground. That's right over it. Down in there. Let's open it up some and then try to see if we can find it. Oh, there it is. I think I've actually found one of these here in the past. It's the same style. This one's not as beat up as the other one I found, but it's still cool. There, I think on my very first hunt, probably about 400 feet from here, I found the same exact knob. So there's a really old either door handle or something. Being square, you would think it'd be on something you'd turn like this because of shear forces on something circular. So yeah, that's cool. I'll take that. I'm gonna pack it up and head home. I'm very happy with the day today. It turned out really good. It was muddy. It was a difficult hunt, but it's nice to get out here before they can plant this thing sometime this week. Once things dry out, I won't be in here till in the fall. So it's nice to find what I could while I could. Here I am at the house. It's before work, the day after. And here's the book that I was talking about. It's the Equinox series Handbook by Andy Sabisch. And I got this off Amazon. I heard about it from a couple other viewers. And so I just decided to get one. I'll continue to review it. And if it makes my experience metal detecting better, then I'm all for it. And speaking on that note of making my metal detecting experience better, I was contacted by Anderson Detector Shafts. And the owner asked me if I would want to have one of their shafts. You know, I wasn't in the market for one, and I heard a lot of you have mentioned one in the past as well. So I decided, yeah, I'll take one and try it out. Now I did forewarn him that, you know, if it doesn't do really well or if there's things that I dislike about it, I'll probably voice it because what happens on my channel is very real. I don't sell anything, and he told me I don't have to sell this or mention it or do anything. He just wanted me to have the thing so that it helps out my efforts because he really enjoys what I'm doing on here, making these videos and supporting the hobby. Now I don't even have a decal, but since I have a shaft of somebody else's and they're showing support for me, which I greatly appreciate, and I appreciate each and every one of you for watching my videos. Now if you have a decal and you want me to put it on here, now if it's a great big decal, I probably won't have a spot because there's not a lot of room on the Equinox. But if you send me a decal, just email me and let me know you want to send me one. I'll put it on this shaft. So in every video, you will be seen. And so everybody gets a little bit of support, and I can somewhat give back with every video that I make. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to end this video now because I do have to go to work. And we'll get back out very soon. So that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care.